Hey, so this is part 3 to my end time dreams. Uh, so basically, in this one, it started off, I guess it was, I would say early afternoon. I'm assuming I just got off of work because I was walking to my house with a coworker and we were across the street from my building by a hospital. And something tells me to look up over my left shoulder. So I looked up over my left shoulder towards the sun and I saw the sun flash like bright, and I saw the number 1/2. And so I turned back to my coworker that was with me to the right, and I asked him. I say, Vinny, did you see that? Did you see the sun? Did you see how bright it was? And Vinny was gone. Like he got raptured or something. Like, he was there 1 minute, gone the next. And so I'm thinking, damn, where the hell did Vinny go? And when I said that to myself, my mother's face flashed for like a split second, and I could see it. And then after her face, the vision of her face went away, I heard a voice screaming at me from the sky, damn near like it was coming from heaven almost. And the voice is screaming at me that the moon is a pod. And screaming, the moon is a pod, the moon is a pod. And I'm thinking, what the hell are they talking about? The moon is a pod. So I I wanted to see for myself. So I thought of myself being up in space, and the next thing I know, I was up in space, and I'm looking at the moon, or what should have been the moon, but it wasn't the moon. It was a pod, like a submarine pod. And it was like one of them old-fashioned ones where when you want to open the door, you gotta like spin the wheel, and then you can open the hatch. It was like one of those pods, but this pod was so small it could only fit like one person, and the door was closed. And I'm saying to myself, I want to see what's inside, but at the same time, I didn't really want to open it because I didn't know what would happen. And then when I turned away from the moon to look back towards the earth, if the moon was in front of me, the earth was to my right. And it was sideways, like it looked just how it looked in my first dream, flat and round on the edge. But it was standing up on the edge, like if you took a quarter and just stood it up on the side. And so I said, damn, why is the earth sideways? What's going on here? And then on this side of the planet where America is, I could see all the continents. I could see Brazil, everything. And I zoomed down, like, I don't know how I was able to see all of this stuff, but I could zoom down and I was able to see the city and everything like that, New York City. And the next thing I know, I'm out over the Atlantic Ocean. And this thing was so vivid, I could smell the salt water. That's how real it was. And I would say maybe I was 5, 10 miles off the coast of Coney Island. And so I'm floating over all this ocean water. And at first I get scared because I'm thinking I'm going to drown, because I realized I didn't have a boat, a life vest, or anything. And then when I looked down towards the water, I didn't have a body. Like I was in spirit form. And that's when I realized, I said, okay, I'm not real, so I don't have to worry about drowning. And then I looked to the left, and off to the distance, I could see New York City in the background. It looked like a foggy day, a real foggy day, real cloudy, misty. And the water beneath me started to, it looked like it was climbing on itself, almost like the water was alive in a sense. And the water just started piling higher and higher. And I'm thinking to myself, how much water is in this ocean? You know, like it was just a never-ending supply of ocean water. And the water started to rise, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, it's like it was almost like somebody had a giant hand, and they were going to scoop the water towards the city. So as the water starts climbing on itself and making its way towards the shores, I'm thinking nobody's going to survive this. Nobody. I mean, you have to be like in a submarine somewhere not to get drowned out by this tidal wave that's about to come. And next thing I know, I'm back up in space. And this time I can see the other side of the planet. And the other side of the planet looked dry. Like there was almost no water, like in the Middle East and in Europe and stuff. It was like fire scorched the place or something, because it was just bone dry like a desert. And I knew that there were earthquakes, major earthquakes, ripping up whole continents. And but I didn't see the earthquakes, but I just knew it happened. And then I zoomed down, and it looked like a temple or some kind of abandoned temple where the pillars were all broken down, and you could see the steps, and a little bit of the corridor would look like a corridor. And but other than that, it was just in ruins. And I was trying to figure out, where is this temple? Like, what country is this in? And then I could see maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 people scattered. I mean, these people were miles apart, but from my view, it looked like they were close to one another, but they were miles apart. And I knew that because of the tsunamis and the earthquakes, there was barely anybody left. Like, you'll be lucky if you could find another human being to talk to. And so when these people would bump into each other, the first thing they would ask was, "Did you find any books? Did you find any books?" And they were digging and digging and digging, trying to find some type of reading material, because we didn't have any more computers, any more books left. The earthquakes and the tsunamis just devastated the planet. And we even you couldn't even find a Bible. There was nothing written down to tell us our history or where we come from or anything that happens. And everybody kept saying, "No, I didn't find any books. I didn't find any books." So they kept scavenging. The archaeologists kept digging, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, "Man, anybody could come here. Aliens could show up and tell us anything, because we don't know who we are. We don't know our history. We've forgotten who we are." And the next scene, I'm back up over the earth, and I'm looking down, and this time I can see again the moon pod in front of me, but I had this strange sensation like we were being watched. And I also knew that we had reached the level of technology to where we could leave this place. We could go to any other dimension or galaxy, whatever you want to call it, but we could go anywhere we wanted to go. That's the kind of technology we had, like Stargate kind of technology. And I wanted to go higher. I wanted to see what was above the earth, like maybe in the next realm, or what heaven looks like or something, because they say heaven is above us. And when I tried to go up, I kind of like hit a ceiling that I couldn't see. Like, there was this glass ceiling that I couldn't pass. And I knew that there was somebody or some people on the other side who could see everything that was going on the earth. And what's up, man?
Hey, maybe it was heaven or God.
Maybe. So I could see the earth in front of me, but above me I couldn't go any higher for some reason. Like some kind of barrier was stopping me. And I couldn't hear these voices, but I sensed that there was somebody talking to another person, and they were saying, "No, they too evil, they too wicked. We can't let them out. They're gonna spread this sin and this evil to the other places. Just let them die." And the earth just went crazy with the tornadoes and everything like that, and just killed everybody off, man. And like I said, I couldn't see who or what was on the other side of this invisible ceiling, but the earth was being contained, like we were under quarantine or something. And we could have got out, but our deeds were just so evil, man. Like I said, I heard somebody say this before, that our sins have reached all the way up to heaven, and that's basically what it was. And whoever was on the other side of this veil, God, the creator, whatever you want to call him, he let the earth kill us off before we could use this technology to leave. And that was it. I woke up, but man, if you would have saw what I saw, and I'm still trying to figure out what
happened to you, Dirt?
I'm still trying to figure out what does the numbers 1/2 represent in my vision. That I'm still trying to figure out. But let me know if anybody's having these dreams or similar experiences. Maybe we can put our heads together, try to figure something out. You know, I'll get back to you if anything else comes up, and just take care.